Hello everyone, welcome to iSmart's new feature launch webinar. Thank you all for joining. We'll wait for a few minutes for the people to join the webinar and we'll begin shortly. We will focus this webinar mainly on the new features that we recently launched. I hope you had a chance to review the release note that we roll out with the changes. If not, you can always visit the personal settings section from the top right corner icon on your iSmart account. Simply click on the button to know what's new with iSmartRecruit, and you'll see the release note that we uh, deployed with the changes recently. Let's wait for about 5 minutes for the people to join. I hope everyone had a chance to review the new changes as well. We'll have about 15 minutes at the end of the webinar for Q&A. So any questions that you might have for all the new features, any concerns, feel free to share with us at the end of the webinar. Just a couple more minutes to allow all participants to join. Just a few more minutes. We'll begin shortly. Okay, I'll start sharing my screen. Let's begin with the new features launch. Yes, thank you everyone for joining in. Um, we'll start with the feature that we recently enhanced. It's the website integration feature. So website integration feature is where we have made all the customizations that you could now do from the system itself. So you can visit the admin section, and under integration, website integration feature is what you can use to integrate your company's website with iSmartRecruit. And now it allows you to control the look, the feel, the color theme, everything that you could customize for this integration, and is everything now in your own control. So we provide two options through which you can integrate your company's website or your company's career page with iSmart. This is mainly to advertise all your active jobs to your company's website, and the applicants who search on your website for new vacancies can directly apply for open positions. So one option to integrate this is by a generic script code that you can see here. You can simply copy and paste this code at the back end of your website. And you can choose the color theme, the text color, and everything that you wish to display, and make it in sync with the color theme that you follow on your website as well. Another integration method that you could use is the API integration. So if you want to be more specific, more detailed on what information gets out, what kind of information gets advertised, you can use the API documentation, explore it, and use the relevant APIs to customize this integration with your website. In any scenario, wherever you face any difficulties, you can always reach out to support. Whenever you kind of update a particular information or a color theme here, you can simply click on update, and it will also give you a preview of what you will see on the website. So this is how all open positions will get displayed on your company's website. You can choose and change the color theme here, the hover over theme as well, the background color, and everything can be changed as per your choice. When candidates click on a particular job and choose to apply, they also see a job description page, and then they see the job application page as well. So all information or color part here can also be customized as per your requirements. So you can do everything from this website integration page here. You can first choose a header selection, like the layout of the header that you wish to show to all your candidates. So once they click on a particular job, this theme is the information that gets displayed in the manner. You can choose what details could be shared here. You can choose to add your company's logo. You can also choose a background image for the header section. You can then customize the information that you wish to display, which could be the summary information of those of the job as well. So from this drop down, you can choose what information you wish to display as a job summary. So these three places can be customized on what details you wish to showcase there. You can also choose to enable or disable buttons based on your choice. Like if you want to enable an all open job button on your job description page, so candidates can click on that button and see all the other open vacancies that you have added as well. So they can click on this and see all open positions. You can choose to show the company website button as well. So they can click on it and go and reach directly to your company's website as well. You can add the link to your website in this text box here. You can choose to allow them to apply through multiple platforms, like apply through LinkedIn, through Indeed, through Twitter as well. So you can choose what options do you wish to provide your candidates to apply with. Choosing any of these platforms to apply with will simply auto-populate all the information that they have on, say, LinkedIn, and will fetch all the information from LinkedIn to the application form. So you can choose to enable or disable those options as well. You can also choose to enable the company link for your social media. So if you have your company's page on Facebook, LinkedIn, or Twitter, you can add your links here, and they will be redirected to your page if they wish to see your Facebook page, your LinkedIn page, or your Twitter account as well. So if they click on this, they'll get redirected to the link that you add here in these text boxes. You can also request them to enable the cookie for the browser. So you can add the cookie message here, and they'll see the notification like this, whether they have to accept the cookie to view the information in a better manner. So you can choose to add those details. You can also enable the share with widget on the job description page and application page. So this is the share with widget where if they choose to say share this particular job opening through any of their friends or their colleagues, what they can do is they can share it via any of these platforms through a personal message, and the job link will get shared through the chosen platform. So you can allow to either show this particular option for them or not. And you can always enable the Google translation option. So this is a new feature where you can provide freedom to your candidates to choose the language that they wish to see the job description page in. So they can choose the language that they are comfortable with, and the job description will translate that page into the chosen language. You can always customize the text and the background colors of this page as well. So if you can customize what color it will look like for these text here, the button colors as well, the requirements, details, and everything can be customized in a color that is more suitable to your website. Moreover, you can always add a brief introduction of your company, which gets added along with the job description, so that candidates who are applying to your job also have an idea of what kind of an organization it is. So they can always review the brief introduction of the organization as well. Gives them an idea of what kind of culture they are going to apply for. For the job application page, so whenever a candidate chooses to apply for a particular job, they get redirected to the job application page. So in job application page, you capture certain information from candidates. You can always customize what information you wish to request from those candidates. So you can always choose any from the list of any default fields of candidate information. You can choose what information you wish your candidates to submit along with their applications, and you can always mark them as mandatory or not mandatory, and they will need to submit their information at this stage while submitting their application. They can upload their resume, a cover letter. If it is made mandatory, they have to submit that as well, and they'll always see the screening questions that you set for the job before submitting their application. So you can customize all these features, all these information in the candidate's application form as well. So this is the new enhancement that we did with website integration. The next feature that we'll look into is the job analytics. So job analytics, we recently did upgrade to show a certain analytics part. Now we have added more information, more analytics parameters into it as well. So you can now see a top hiring channel. So this will give you an idea of which particular marketing channel that you're using is giving you candidates. Most hired candidates are received from which particular channel. You can see the top sourcing channel as well. So this will give you an idea of a channel which is giving you the large number of applicants. You can review the offer acceptance ratio, which will give you an idea of how many candidates are actually accepting the offer that you extend to them as once they are hired. You can review the interview to offer ratio, which will give you an idea of how many candidates are actually getting offered a position out of all the candidates that you have interviewed. And you can review the submit to interview ratio, which will give you an idea of how many shortlisted candidates, the candidates that you submit to your clients or your hiring managers for review, how many of those candidates actually get interviewed. You can review the ratio for added to hire to get an idea of how many candidates actually reach the hiring stage from the ones which are added manually by your recruitment team. You can also review from added to submitted ratio, which will give you an idea of how many candidates reach the submitted stage where you shortlist them and consider them and send them for review to your clients or hiring managers out of all the candidates which are manually added by your recruitment team. You can review the submitted to hired ratio as well to understand how many shortlisted candidates that you submit to your clients, how many of those candidates you actually get hired. So this will give you an idea, and you can review these analytics to realign your sourcing strategy and your recruitment strategy as well. So along with these ratios and parameters, you can always view the graphical representation in pie chart of job applied source. So this will give you information of how many applicants did you receive for this particular job from different sources. You can see how many job views did you get on different sources by prospect candidates. You can review the hired breakdown of candidates based on the source that they are coming from. You can also review the rejected breakdown to understand whether you are receiving more rejected or more not suitable kind of candidates for a particular source or not. You can always review the entire list of candidates by source and also the interview ratio by source, which will give you an idea on how many interviews to actually conduct with candidates received from different sources. So these are the analytics part that we have enhanced the job analytics. Further, with respect to the entire organization-wide analytics, you can always refer to the analytics report in the report section. So it will give you more details on analytics with respect to your entire organization, your entire candidate database. So you can run it for a particular duration where you see all the ratio and the parameters that we saw with a particular job. You can see it organization wide here in this report. You can see pie charts for candidate by source, a higher background breakdown, rejected breakdown based on the candidate source as well, and interview ratio by source as well. Along with these information and analytics, you can also review drop-off per stage type information. So this will give you an idea of how many candidates are getting dropped off or are getting rejected after a particular status that they are assigned. So in the recruitment pipeline, say after new maximum number of rejections happen after they are at the new stage. So you can analyze this information and realign your statuses, or you can reframe your entire recruitment workflow as well. You can also review the application frequency rate, which will give you an idea on how many applicants you are receiving on a regular basis from a date to date based on the duration that you have chosen to generate this report on. And it will give you when did you receive the highest number of candidates. You can also review the interview ratio by users. So this will give you an idea of how many interviews are conducted and scheduled by your recruitment team or for the candidates that are getting added in the system. So you can review this detailed reports analytics and then can realign and reframe your strategy for recruitment accordingly. The next feature that we have I'd say implemented or launched as a new feature is one where if you have a particular client who requests that their current employees or should not get considered for a new position of a new client. So in such scenario, you can block a particular candidate who could be an employee of a current client that you have, and they would not get considered, or the system will notify you that this person already is an employee of your current client. So while evaluating them for a different job, you always have that thought in your head before considering them for a new requirement. So you can enable this feature in the client section. You can simply open a particular client profile, and you can enable this feature for that client by simply enabling a tick mark here on block candidate of the company for recruitment. What this will do is it will compare the website detail that you add in the client details with the email address and the resume of a particular candidate, and will try to match it to identify whether they were an employee of the organization or not. So if you visit any candidate profile, it will give you an idea of and it will give you an icon where it will mention that this particular candidate is already an employee or was an employee of this particular client. So that way you can always consider them, and the recruiter can then take a call whether they wish to shortlist this particular candidate for a different job or not. So in that scenario, or you can evaluate the candidate accordingly. So you'll see this particular icon in the candidate profile if they were an employee or are an employee of your existing current client. And so this gives ease of comfort and will also help you build on the relationship that you have with your clients. Another feature that you could run on is the Recruitment Autopilot feature. So the recruitment team performs many tasks during the day. So they usually have minor tasks to update in the system, but they are critical tasks that they need to do, but they could be tedious in managing or say recording them in the system. Say, for example, certain tasks like adding a note, adding a call reminder, or just sending out a notification email to the candidates. So all these tasks can be automated if they are repetitive in nature or are very regular but time consuming. So you can run an autopilot on this particular requirement. So say, for example, in scenarios where when we are trying to contact a particular candidate, but they do not receive a call or we are unable to connect with them, we want to schedule a call reminder for such candidates. So what we can do is we can set up a call reminder workflow where we want to trigger this when we change a status of a particular candidate. So whenever we move a particular candidate to our chosen status, let's say example, we want to change the status of a candidate, and that status would be not picking up call, right? So we can choose this, and the autopilot would run and create the action that we choose here when we assign a particular status, the chosen status here to a particular candidate. So when we assign not picking up call status to any of the candidate in our pipeline, we can choose to set up a call reminder for that particular candidate. So you can choose an action to set up a call reminder. It will give us an idea on what that call reminder message should be. You can choose to add that message here, and you can choose when that reminder should get displayed. So you can always add after, say, maybe an hour or maybe 2 hours, maybe a day or so. So you can choose when that reminder should save up. And once you click on save, that's autopilot would run every time you change or update a status of a candidate to not picking up call. So you can run such automations on different activities that your recruitment team performs so that they wouldn't need to kind of manually create that particular or update that particular tasks and spend time on it. And so you can run and add an autopilot on your recruitment workflow. Another feature where you can manage all your documents related to your requirements can be managed in the doc templates section. So all your documents, all your master documents like an offer letter or any documents that you would want to receive from your candidates at the time of onboarding, or any contract files that you wish to kind of generate and keep as a record for multiple candidates. You can always manage all these templates in the doc templates section. You can choose to simply add a new document, give it a name. You can choose a category based on which you can choose the type of the document and simply upload it here. Now, in scenarios where we want to create an offer letter template, You can add a document for offer letter, and it will allow you to kind of use tags or labels in your offer letter document as well, which will get replaced by candidates and job related information automatically while you share it with your hired candidates. So if you are offering a candidate a new position and sharing the offer letter, you can use these labels, these supported tags to replace the correct information in the document as well. So you can create such documents and save it in the doc template section. Now, for example, uh, when we share an offer letter for with a particular candidate, you can always visit the candidate profile and generate an offer letter for them. So you can click on these three icons here and generate an offer letter, which will ask you for your confirmation for a particular job, and it will redirect you to the place where you create the offer letter for the candidate. You can fill in the details of job requirements, their compensation details as well, and it will follow this particular flow to send the offer letter to the candidates. You can click on next and it will take you to where you choose the particular document. Now, if you have a document added as in your doc template section, you can choose that template from this option here, or at this stage, if you want to add and upload your own offer letter document here, you can choose to do that as well. So you can choose drag and drop the new document here, and it will also support the chosen tags listed here. Now, when you choose a document and wish to share it with your candidates, you can always choose to request for e-signatures for those documents as well. So you can, if you want to request e-signatures, there could be multiple people within the organization as well whose signatures you might need. So you can add more signers for that document as well. So ultimately, you can add multiple signers. Say, for example, we have an HR manager who would whose signature we would need in the offer letter that we are sharing. And we would also have our company's CEO who should have his signature in the document as well. So you can choose multiple signers here. You can also rearrange the order in which the document would get sent out to them. So in the order listed here, the first, the document will go out to the HR manager. Once he signs it, it will go to the CEO. Once that signature is added into the document, ultimately it will reach to the candidate and they'll have to electronically sign the document and submit it. So you can send the signing request to the chosen signers here and share it with the candidate ultimately. Now this would only be if you are requesting for e-signatures, or if you are simply sharing a document and asking them to sign it and return it as a scanned copy, you can directly send it via email. You can configure the details that you wish to communicate in the email here, or if you have an email template ready, you can simply choose that email template from this place and add the details of the offer letter. Right, so you can always choose to share an offer letter with the candidates in this manner. Now, similar to an offer letter, once they accept our offer and once the candidates are ready to become an employee, we can initiate their onboarding process. So similar to how we create an offer letter, you can create documents related to onboarding in the doc template section. So while adding a particular document, if you are choosing the category as onboarding, it will ask you follow-up information on whether you wish to mark it as a mandatory or a default document for all onboarded candidates. You can choose to do that, or you can always choose to share what kind of action you are requesting from the candidates. So it could be either they should sign the document, or they should agree to the document, or provide their consent for the document that you're sharing, or they are simply to view the document for information. So you can choose any action type for the candidates which you are hiring as employees, and you can mark those documents as onboarding related documents. You can initiate onboarding for a particular candidate from the candidate profile, and it will redirect you to the onboarding module. So you can always visit the onboarding module from here, or you can always initiate a new onboarding process for a particular hired candidate. So you can, from this here, you can initiate onboarding. It will redirect you and take you to the initiate onboarding screen, where you will be able to see all the candidates that you are initiating onboarding for. Once you initiate an onboarding, what you can do is you can choose all the job related information there. You can fill in the details of the position that you're hiring, the job details, and also the compensation related details as well. So you can add all those details here. You can choose a joining date for them. You can choose an expiry date for the offer that you're extending to them, and all the required information could be added. You can click on next and it will take you to the next step of sharing an onboarding link with your candidates. So this is the workflow that the onboarding will follow. You can choose all the information that you wish to capture from candidates at the stage of onboarding. So all these fields you can add here. You can add multiple fields from the drop down that you could select here, and you can choose what all information you wish to capture from those candidates. You can choose all this information. If there is a custom information that you wish to capture at this stage, you can always choose to click on plus icon here and add it to the master list of fields that you would want to capture at the stage of onboarding. Once you have a prepared list of fields or information that you are requesting your candidates to fill, you can mark them as default fields for all future candidates that you would onboard uh, in the system. So all hired candidates will by default have to, revert to at least this set of fields, and you wouldn't have to manually add each field individually at every step or every time you are onboarding a new candidate. So you can manage those fields here, and then you can manage the documents that you're requesting from the hired candidate at the stage of onboarding. So you can first choose the onboarding related document. So all documents that you would have added in the doc template section under onboarding category, you will be able to see and choose out of those which documents you wish to request your candidate to revert to. So you can add documents from this icon. You can choose the documents that you would see in the list out of those added under onboarding category. You can choose to mark these documents as mandatory or not mandatory. And along with that, if there are other files who would simply require upload controls. So you are not sharing any document with your candidates, but you are requesting them to submit that particular document. So these could be related to any identity proof. Um, these could be related to any address proof, or say maybe their education degree, or uh, their medical certificate. You can always request these particular upload controls to the candidate, and you can mark them as mandatory or not mandatory as well. And then you can always choose whether you wish to request e-signature from candidates on all these documents or not. So if you can enable it, they'll have to electronically sign it, or you can disable it if you simply are sharing it via email with them. So you can click on save, and it will redirect you to the page where you send out the welcome email to your hired candidates. So you send out an email where once they click on this particular link, they'll review all the information that you're requesting. They'll have to fill in the details and submit their application to you. You can always preview the onboarding page on how it will look like to your candidates. So this is how they'll have to fill in the information in. They'll see all the fields that you are requesting. They will also see the documents where they'll know what to do with the document, whether they have to provide an approval or whether they are just viewing it as for information. They'll be able to see that as well. And they'll have to submit and upload the document that you're requesting from them as ID proofs or address proof here. So they'll have to upload a document on their own from their end and then submit the application to you. Once you receive all information, you will be able to see all the hired candidates into a stage where you'll see that they are in process of onboarding candidates. So they will move from new hires to this section of in process onboarding candidates, where you will be able to either, after a while, if you still wish to request them for for the documents again, you can resend them the welcome email again to request them to submit the application or the documents and the information. Or you can always review their onboarding status and see whether they have filled or submit all information that we are requesting out of them. So you can review this information from them, and you can choose to kind of complete the process of onboarding if you think that they have uh, filled up all the details and have submitted all onboarding related information that you requested. You can complete the onboarding by clicking on this icon, and they will then get moved to the complete onboarding process section, where you'll be able to see all candidates who have submitted their onboarding details, and you will be able to review them. Now, while they are in process of onboarding, we have multiple statuses that you could assign as per the workflow that you follow for onboarding a particular candidate. So you can have multiple statuses that you could assign once the onboarding has initiated, and you can customize this workflow as per your organization's requirement by clicking on this particular icon. So if you click on customize onboarding workflow, it will redirect you to the page where you can customize all the stages, all the steps that you follow while onboarding a particular candidate. So you can then manually assign the candidate as per that status. And so that's the onboarding module and the detailed onboarding workflow that you could follow for hired candidates in this section. Now, sometimes in scenarios where you do not have a particular candidate in your candidate database, but you directly want to initiate an onboarding kind of workflow for the newly hired employee. So what you can do is you can simply click on add new hire details here. Simply add the details of the candidate, the name, the email address, the job title that you're hiring them for, and the date of joining information. And the system will create this particular information. It will create a particular candidate profile in the system, and will also add it in the onboarding section as well. So a new profile can directly be created for hired candidates directly from here as well. If there is a scenario where you weren't able to evaluate them throughout, but you just have to record their onboarding related information at the stage of hiring. So you can manage directly that from add new hire button here. So these are all the major changes that we implemented in the system. Everything that we recently launched is here. Um, we are always open to new changes, new suggestions from you. You can always submit your suggestions, your remarks on the feature request portal, where your suggestions would be open to all other clients who could vote and provide their voting to your particular requirement or suggestion. And based on that, we will always enhance the system or upgrade it on a regular basis. So I hope we were able to cover all the new features that we displayed here, the ones that we recently launched. We are now open to questions. If you have any questions, please share them in the questions section. Just yeah, okay. Okay, just yeah. The question that we have received is, can you show again where in iSmart you do this new setup for the website integration? Sure. So you can see that in the admin section. So in admin section under integration, we have this website integration option. You can choose and click on website integration, and you can choose the option that you wish to choose to integrate your website. One is a generic code in which you see the integration by default what we provide, And if you wish to customize it, you can use the API option as well. So this is where you customize the website integration part. Another question is, are there set colors you need to select, or can you add your own colors? You can always add your own colors. So once you want to click on choose your own color, you can choose the combination here. You can, if you have a code, color code, you can simply type it here and it will choose the relevant color as well. So it's the entire color section that you could explore as per your needs. Okay, another question is, what is the little red dot flickering near advanced search? Okay, so that's one thing that we have recently launched. It's something that's very new, or something that we would want to highlight to recruiters on a daily basis. You'll see this particular red icon there. So it draws your attention to it to help you assist in saying that this particular feature is more relevant, is more useful. Please try to explore it. And if ever you have any questions about it, you are always free to reach out to the support team for it. So we are just highlighting features which are recent, which are new, which are more important while managing your entire recruitment pipeline in the system. Okay, next is regarding the request for e-signature. Is this function inbuilt in the system already, or do we have to integrate it with a fee-paying third-party organization offering the service? So yes, you'll have to integrate it with EverSign. So we have this integration in place where you can connect it with the EverSign platform, and through which you can share it with the candidates. So any electronic signature requirement documents will get sent out through EverSign once that is integrated with your account. Okay. Any more questions? I hope I was able to revert to your questions that you asked here. Any more questions? Okay, with the workflow, if we create a workflow with a reminder, does that appear in your calendar, or do you get an email with a reminder? So it appears in your system's calendar, and it will appear for the candidate details as well. So here, you see this call reminder icon, it will get set here, and it will also get added to your calendar for the particular user as well. Any more questions? So any actions that you would run through the autopilot, what it will do is it will then redirect you to that functionality, and the functionality will then work as it does in a normal environment. It's just the action part that will get automated. Yes, any more questions? We're open to questions. Any concerns in the system, please share here in the questions section. Please share your questions. We are open to questions now. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Any more questions? Let's allow a few more minutes if you wish to explore these in your systems yourself and if you face any difficulties anywhere. You can share your questions here. Okay, I think we are done with questions. No more questions? Okay, while customizing the application page, where do you upload the background image and where will it show on the job page? Sure. So while customizing the website integration, under the integration tab under website, you can choose the header's background image. So where it will show is in this, say for example, let me update that here. Whenever a candidate clicks on a particular job profile to submit their application, this background image, this white background that you see here, is the header background that you could replace as per your choice. So the image that you upload here in the header background image will get reflected here in this section. So it will be a background for this summary information that you see here. Below this, it will remain a different color. Okay, next is, okay, okay, so this is outside the features that we cover. I'm facing the difficulties to find the candidate, whether the candidate is attached with a talent pool tag. So you can search those candidates in the candidate section under advanced search. So there are two different methods how you can search for such candidates. In the apply filter is one option where you can search through talent pools. So you can choose a particular pool and it will show you the list of candidates out of that pool. So that's one method of doing it. Another is through advanced search. So through advanced search, you can search for candidates who you have assigned to different talent pools and then can choose the talent pool from this place. So you can choose a particular talent pool and it will give you the list of candidates that you have added to that particular pool. So these are two places from which you can shortlist or say filter out candidates based on the talent pool that you have added them to. Okay, next is it possible to visible icon for candidate that already tagged in the pool? So currently, no, we do not have a particular label that gets attached to a particular candidate because a particular candidate can be assigned to multiple talent pools. So one person may be say added to a marketing talent pool along with a geographical based talent pool as well. Say for example, residing uh, in European region. So Because a candidate can be a part of multiple talent pools, assigning a label tag could not be possible to assign it to the candidate which gets added to pools. And because pools are user specific as well, so it could be one user might want to consider this candidate into a different talent pool compared to the other team member. So it becomes more generic and it's more kind of flexible on how user wants to see that particular candidate. Okay, thank you, thank you. Yes, any more questions? Any questions, anything, please feel free to ask them in the questions section. Let's give it a couple more minutes. Please review if you have any questions, please ask them in the section. Okay. Uh, Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining the webinar. If you have any concerns related to any new features or existing features as well, please feel free to reach out to our support team. You can always visit our help center as well. We have enhanced the help center with new videos, new articles as well. So you can refer to them. They are more detailed with detailed screenshots and step-by-step process on how you execute a particular functionality. Please feel free to reach out to our support team via email or via chat function as well. Thank you everyone for joining. Have a great day ahead, everyone, or have a happy weekend ahead. Thank you.
Thank you everyone for joining and for your time, right? And happy holidays for all the global clients, right? Thanksgiving is coming, right? So we are always thankful for having you on board with iSmartRecruit. Thank you and enjoy your holidays.